nervously. Thomas puffed quickly away. He didn't want to be near Diesel 10 or his crushing, crunching claw. That night at Knapford Sheds, Thomas started talking again. He told Emily all about Diesel 10 and all about his day's work. Be quiet and go to sleep, wished Emily. She just wanted peace and quiet. But when Thomas fell asleep, he started to sleep whistle. It kept Emily awake. Emily really wished Thomas could go back to Tidmouth Sheds. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt came to see Thomas. "Thomas, the new section for the suspension bridge has arrived," Sir Topham Hatt said. "You must take it from Brendam Docks to the bridge." "Yes, sir," puffed Thomas. "It is very heavy, and you might need some help," Sir Topham Hatt added. "A diesel engine wouldn't need help," wailed Diesel. "Not like a steam engine." "I'm a steam engine, and I can do it by myself," Thomas huffed crossly. But when Thomas arrived at the docks, he was worried. The bridge section was very long, and it was very, very heavy. Thomas pushed and puffed. He huffed and chuffed. At last, his heavy load started to move. Thomas puffed slowly up the line. His pistons pumped and his axles ached. His load was very long and very heavy. When Thomas came to a junction, he stopped for a well-earned rest. Then Harry and Bert pulled up. Thomas was very tired. "Look at the little steamy with his heavy load," laughed Harry. "He'll need a diesel to help him," laughed Bert. Thomas was cross. "No, I won't," Thomas huffed. "I can do it all myself." Thomas puffed slowly up to the bridge. "Well done, Thomas!" the workman cried. Thomas was pleased to be there. He was looking forward to a rest. But there was another job to be done. The bridge section needed to be lowered into place. "I'll do it," Diesel oiled. "I'm the strongest, much stronger than this steamy." "No, let Thomas try," the foreman said. "He's already proven how strong he is. He pushed the bridge section all by himself." Thomas was very proud. Diesel was cross. The workmen attached lots of cables to Thomas. Thomas slowly took up the strain, but the section was heavy. His wheels slipped. The workmen were worried. Thomas puffed harder and harder and held the beam steady. He edged forwards, slowly lowering the section. It got heavier and heavier. Thomas had to work very hard to hold the section steady until finally it was lowered into place. The workmen cheered. "You are a very strong engine," called one of the workmen. "And very useful indeed," called another. Thomas was as tired as he had ever been, but he was so proud. He felt like his boiler would burst. "Steamies are better than diesels," boasted Thomas. This made Diesel crosser than ever. That afternoon, Thomas had to collect some paint for the bridge. Thomas puffed into the yard and backed up to the paint freight cars. But Diesel was in the yard too. "Now I'll show Thomas who's best," Diesel whispered, and he gave the freight cars an extra hard shunt. Paint cans flew into the air and splattered down all over Thomas. There was green paint, yellow paint, and red paint. Thomas looked very silly indeed. "Stripey boiler," laughed Diesel, and he rolled away. "I'll show those Diesels," puffed Thomas. So the next time Thomas saw Harry, he gave him a biff. And when Harry saw James, he gave him a bump. Soon the Diesels and the Steamies were biffing and banging and being bumped all over the island. The engines were in a terrible mess. Everyone needed a good washdown, and no work had been done. That evening, Sir Topham Hatt came to see the engines. "You have caused confusion and delay,"